Jack Boland has literally changed the lives of thousands of people, and he can help you change yours. The following lessons are designed to give you the information and inspiration you need to make your life what it can be. This program is entitled Prosperity Principles That Work. And now, Jack Boland.
Are you really ready to be changed? Are you? I mean, changed down into the very matrix of your being. Are you ready to have a power greater than yourself take hold of your mind and of your life and change your life so dramatically that nothing will ever be the same for you again? Are you willing to have this experience? I'm not talking now about small changes, small things attached to the outside. I'm talking about eruptions from within. Are you willing to become one of the most dynamic examples of the prospering power of God that you or your friends have ever seen? Are you willing to become such a being? One who will take this prosperity idea and develop a prosperity consciousness that will produce for you effortlessly everything that you need in your life so that your life will be fulfilled. Are you ready for that? Good. Then it can begin to happen to you. As a matter of fact, it is already happening to you the moment that you declared or decreed that you were ready for this experience. Nothing on earth can change you until you're willing to have this change take place. Now, strangely enough, we live in a universe that knows absolutely no lack. It's based on its ability to produce everything that it needs at every point in time and space. If it needs something, it creates it instantly. Isn't that marvelous? Well, you are a point in time and space in the universe. And if you need something, the very fact that you need it means that it should be and could be created for you right now. It isn't going to be created at some future time, because in the universe there is no future time. There's only right now. But strangely enough, our little earth is populated by little minds who don't believe how great they are. And they've developed the consciousness of poverty. And we say, well, in America, we are the most prosperous nation that has ever existed. And that's correct. If we compare ourselves to poverty-stricken nations. But compared to what we could be experiencing individually and collectively, we are in the poorhouse. You bet. If all that the Father has for us is ours right now, where is it? In these next 12 weeks in our prosperity class, we are not just going to deal with intangible ideas. We're going to take these intangible, invisible ideas and give them shape and form in your life. Some of you will be demonstrating lives that will change so dramatically that it will astonish the people that live in your world. And I'm not kidding you one bit. This can happen. But it can only happen if you believe it and if you're willing to be changed within yourself. Instead of the prosperity idea, most people have developed within themselves because they've heard around themselves this thought, where's the money coming from? How am I going to pay the rent? Sure would like to have a new car, but I wonder why I can't get a better job. Why can't I be successful like other people that I see? I work so hard. I try so hard. I pray so hard. I wonder why it's not happening to me. Why am I always broke? Now, none of you have ever heard little voices like that in your head. Would you really like to know why? Do you really want to do something about it? Do you really want to throw off the shackles of limitation and of lack? And someone here can say, well, my life is pretty good. I don't lack very much. Okay, pretty good compared to what? Compared to how it could be? You know, sometimes we do move forward into a new dimension of good, and then in time that good becomes the enemy of the better, because you were created to be a dynamic, moving, flowing, never ceasing to demonstrate citizen of the universe. Are you willing to follow the instructions that we're going to experience in the next 12 weeks? Well, if you are, I promise you that we're going to transform, to change, to improve every corner of your world. That is, if the mental soil is right. And the mental soil is right. I can feel that it's right because you've already expressed your willingness, and as a matter of fact, your enthusiasm, the excitement, the feeling of the possibility that this can happen, because that's the soil that is required. And already, right now, you've started a train of causation that will spread like wildfire until it touches every corner of your world. In your mind, you've already started a flow of prosperity action that will drive every condition of want and lack from your life if you will persist. And if it's not impeded by thoughts of an opposite character. And in these weeks, we're going to actually work to extricate those negative thoughts that have kept us in poverty. We're going to eliminate them from our lives, from our minds. In these next weeks, you will open the door to the source of all achievement. All achievement that has ever been is available to you right now. You have a rich and loving Father. And you have been given the keys to the kingdom of that wealth and of that power, of success, discovery, invention, material gain. And remember that prosperity is not just money alone. That's not what we're talking about. Money is only one aspect of prosperity, but it is not prosperity. Mr. Webster says that prosperity is the condition of being successful or thriving, a state of good fortune, especially financial success, but a state of vigorous and healthy growth, of well-being. How would you like to be fulfilled in every area of your life? Have your life so filled with the things that your heart desires that every moment, every day is an excitement for you. That's the way that your life should be. That's the way that your life can be. And that's the goal. That's the objective of these next 12 weeks of demonstration. Now, in this first lesson, our first consciousness forming class, because that's what we're doing, we're going to shape our consciousness. And in this first class, we're going to start with an idea. One basic idea, and then we'll add an idea to that idea. But first, I'm reminded of something that happened to a friend some time ago. At least he said it happened to him. He and his wife were in a distant city. And the second day they had breakfast at the very fine restaurant in their hotel. And the waiter came over, and my friend said, "I want my eggs fried hard and served cold. I want my toast soggy, my orange juice warm, and I want my coffee bitter." The waiter said, but sir, that's impossible. We can't do that. And my friend said, "Why not? That's what I want." And the waiter said, "Well, no amount of money could make us bring you that kind of breakfast in this restaurant." And my friend said, "I don't see why not. That's what I got yesterday." What has life been serving you? I know you've been sending out your order, but has it been coming back cold and bitter and late? And maybe it's because we don't know how to order what we want, or don't know what is ours to order. Could that possibly be? Maybe He who controls all things and is all things has in store for us exactly what we need, which is better than we want, and more of it. And maybe that when our order begins to come, that all that we will experience is that warmth that comes with the absolute knowledge that all is well, and that smile that lets us know that life is good and beautiful. You see, you too can be prosperous. You really can. If you've been lost in a maze of false beliefs, then the idea that we're going to bring to you in this class will begin to bring you to your goal. If you've been in poverty, this idea will begin to take you out of poverty. And if you've been financially flat on your back, it will lift you up out of any lack that you've been experiencing. If your faith has been weak, it will change it. It will make it strong. If your attitude is right, this idea will accomplish all things through you and through your attitude. It will activate good. It will amplify the powers that are already resident within you. It will increase your income. It will attract opportunities. It will cancel debts. It will stimulate business if you're in business. It will sell your business if you need to get out of business. And it'll provide a business for you if you are supposed to get in business. Because it will work and does work and is working especially for you. As a matter of fact, it's been doing it exactly the way you've been singing. But when your breakfast has been served, you may have said, "I didn't order that," but the cook knows that that's what the order was. We're going to change our order. This idea will prevent failure. It will generate peace, and it will heal disease. It will solve any and all problems that exist in your world. In short, it will realize the fulfillment of all of your desires. If you're here for the first time, you probably are saying, "Gosh, what an exaggeration that is." But I'm standing here wishing that I could find more glowing terms to tell you about the power that is resident within you. And this idea that we're going to be dealing with today is so big and so powerful and so irresistible in its action that it will magnetize, literally magnetize everything in your life and cause everything in your world to vibrate in harmony with its vibration. It has a vibration, and it will draw success, opportunities, and beneficial activities of every sort into your own special world. It designs its activities in your life for you and my life for me. It doesn't get mixed up. It doesn't serve your order for me or mine for you. But first, before I give you this idea, let's get hold of how ideas work. If we know how ideas work, then we can take an idea and work it. But suppose someone gives you an idea and you don't know how to handle ideas, then it might not work. So we're going to talk about what makes ideas work, and we'll give you then a better opportunity to take this idea and do something with it in the next 7 days. First, let me read to you from the foreword of Charles Fillmore's great book on prosperity. It is perfectly logical to assume that a wise and competent Creator would provide for the needs of His creatures in their various stages of growth. The supply would be given as required and as the necessary effort for its appropriation was made by the creature. Temporal needs would be met by temporal things, mental needs by things of like character, and spiritual needs by spiritual elements. For simplification of distribution, all would be composed of one primal spiritual substance, which under proper direction could be transformed into all products at the will of the operator. In other words, the person who believes that he must work hard to gain his good, he must get it by the sweat of his brow, will get it by the sweat of his brow. And it will come to him, though, from the same source as the person who believes that, well, he's tired of working by the sweat of his brow, and besides, he's smarter than that. He has an intellect that he's just discovered, and he knows how in his own devious and cunning and very intelligent way to outmaneuver his brother who works by the sweat of his brow. So he will get it through a mental means, and he does, with effort, mental effort. But it comes from the same source, from the one substance. But then there's the one who has tired of being sick and tired of the physical effort and the mental failures that ultimately come when we ourselves are in charge of our lives, and that one discovers then a spiritual dimension of life, and he begins to work with that spiritual dimension, and guess what? It was the same source that was there all the time. This is a crude yet true illustration of the underlying principles on which the human family is supplied on this earth. The Father has provided a universal seed substance that responds with magical power to the active mind of man. This isn't talked much about anymore, but we're going to be talking about it. And no amount of mental or spiritual activity will work unless you know how to work with this universal seed substance, unless you know it's there. Unless you know how mind has really created something that will respond to our recognition of it. Now, faith. Let's change that word to expectancy. We've used faith erroneously so long that sometimes we don't mean it when we say it. So let's say expectancy. Expectancy in the increasing capacity of this seed substance, whether wrapped in visible husks or latent in invisible electrical units, always rewards man with the fruits of his labor. In other words, if we can begin to expect this universal substance to do its mighty work in our behalf, that expectancy causes it to do it. It cannot do it for us on a personal basis until we begin to believe in it and expect from it our good from its highest level. And no matter where we are, it will come to us from its highest level. In these next 12 lessons, we're going to learn how to properly direct this spiritual substance. We're going to work with it specifically, personally, individually, as well as collectively. and actually direct it into its own powerful and intelligent activity so that it can and will produce for us these new lives that we've been talking about, these lives of prosperity, fulfillment. Now, this seed substance, there was a time in the metaphysical movement when it was called ether, or the ethers. That is not the kind of ether that put your grandmother to sleep in the hospital when your mother was born. Now, this is just a name given to the universal ethers, or this mind substance, this perfect substance that permeates every fractional part of the universe. And the nature of this substance is that it is responsive to all who work with it. It must respond perfectly. It's a plastic substance. And the word plastic means it's amenable to being molded or shaped. That's its nature. It must take the shape and form of your consciousness. Your consciousness is constantly working in it and through it to shape it, to mold it. It is plastic. Doesn't mean hard, it means the opposite of that. Every Sunday here, in our Sunday classes, we talk about this substance, but I have never described it to you until tonight. God is all, both invisible and visible. One presence, one mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. I am an individualized expression of God. I am ever one with this perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. How long has it been since you have thought of God, or one facet or aspect of God, as substance? Have you thought about substance lately? Spiritual substance? Probably most of us have not. And yet the dynamic power of the supermind in man has been sporadically demonstrated by men and women of every age and from every corner of the earth. And always they have known intuitively what they were working with and how to demonstrate the miracles that are theirs in their lives. Now, almost always it's been connected with some religious rite or some priestly authority or some seeming mystery. We've not been told, nor have we been given the secret of how to use this substance to mold our daily lives and the events of our lives and to work with it in all of our affairs. And to demonstrate the power of it and the intelligence of this mind substance, this ether that surrounds us, that was put there so that it could provide us our good. To the mind of man, it is the same thing as the earth is, the soil is to the seed.
This concludes Side A. Now, please fast forward to the end and turn the cassette over for the continuation of Prosperity Principles That Work.
What can you do with a seed if you don't have soil? You can eat the seed. But then what will you plant? There is a soil in mind that is put there to produce your life. The kinds of seeds that we plant is the crop that we reap. How would you like to pull up all the weeds in that field and begin to harvest a new crop? Would you like that? It's exactly what we're going to do. The so-called common herd of life has been kept in darkness with respect to this source of superhuman power. As a matter of fact, there's a thought in mind in the race consciousness that each one of us must overcome, and it's the idea that somehow poverty is a virtue. If you'll read the Detroit Free Press this morning, you'll see quite a lengthy article that has to do with that. Poverty is a disease. It's a sickness of the mind. Anywhere that you see poverty, you will see an individual or individuals who do not understand the nature of man or of his relationship with God. And religion should be teaching us what our relationship is and how to demonstrate all that the Father has in store for us. And the moment that we settle for poverty as a cross to mournfully and painfully bear in order to gain the favor of God, if anyone here has taken any poverty vows lately, let's cancel them. And let's take a prosperity vow. Prove me now, saith the Lord of hosts. Prove me now. Prove me now, saith this universal power. The master teacher taught it. He demonstrated it. And he said, these things that I do, you can do them. Greater things than these. And according to the Greek, the language in which the New Testament has come down to us, he did not use the word heaven, but the word heavens in his teaching. He was not talking about a place that we were going to, but he was telling of the glories of this universe, the properties that exist all around us, the kingdom of the heavens. How else could he have described it in the language of that day? The marvels of the universe, the fantastic intelligence of the universe that is amenable to the mind and the attitude of man. He was saying, change yourself and your whole world will change. And he proved it. And he said it's within you. And you can demonstrate it. Now, this inexhaustible mind substance is available at all times and in all places to those who have learned how to lay hold of it in their consciousness. But until we know how to use it, it's not available. And these next weeks, we're going to turn this great energy within us, this energy of our thinking and of our feeling, to ideas of plenty. Ideas that you'll begin to believe in regardless of what the people in your life are doing or saying about their lives. And we're going to breathe these ideas into God substance, because that's what we're dealing with, God substance. Now, God is substance, but if this statement seems to indicate that we mean that God is matter, a thing of time or condition, then we should say that God is substance-less. God is not confined to that form of substance which we term matter. You can't confine God. God is the intangible essence of that which man has formed into and named matter. The essence back of all things. God's substance may be conceived of as God energy or spirit light. And God said, and let there be light, and there was light. Spirit is not matter, nor is spirit a person. And we cannot conceive of God in any way as being circumscribed or enclosed within bounds. You see, man has enclosed himself within bounds. And we're breaking out of those bounds. We must break out of that circumscription that we have imposed upon ourselves. The limitations that we have placed by our own thought and our own feeling. Thou shalt not make unto thee a graven image, nor any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath. Our feeling of prosperity in the past has come from the accumulation of things, persons, places, and things. We have found our good in things, rather than in the substance back of things. The word graven means deeply impressed or firmly fixed. Graven means an idea that has become firmly fixed, crystallized. And everything that's in the manifested world is an idea that has become crystallized or firmly fixed. It is a graven image. Thou shalt not take unto thyself any graven images. Does this mean you shouldn't have things? Of course not. But it means that you begin to trust the substance that is back of things rather than the things that substance forms. If you can connect with that which creates things, wow. If that's the source of your good, then no longer is your dependency on things. And universal substance cannot be firmly fixed. It's plastic or changeable. It's capable of being molded or of receiving form, and your mind is that substance which is that action that is going to mold it. It's the basis of all form, and yet is above that form. Its nature is to respond, and it does, and it substands or stands under or behind matter as the only reality, back of matter. God is all, both invisible and visible. And the most real world is the invisible world, not the visible world. We will not find our good in the visible world, but in the invisible world, which will produce our good and make it stand out for us to experience. Well, how do we mold it? Just a brief idea tonight. In these next weeks, we will be talking about the different actions of our mind in experiencing the molding or the shaping of substance. But tonight it's very important that we begin to think in a new way about substance, begin to be aware of it, to acknowledge it, to let it become real to our minds, because unless we realize a thing, make it real, we can't experience it. If this substance is the basis of all reality, then it must become real to our minds so that it can produce for us a new reality. Would you agree to that? It's a fantastic thought to know that right here in this room and where you are at every moment of your life, there is a substance that can and will respond to you as if by magic to produce a world or the solutions at any moment that you need in any situation in your life. And this substance was created by God to do just that. And appealing to it will not do it. We must know how to work with it, how to mold it. Just as any chemist in the laboratory must know how to work with the different plastic substances that he, the chemist, is working with there, so you, the chemist of the mind, and I must begin to know how to work with this God substance that has been given to us to shape our world. Jesus said that it's hard for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of heaven or of this experience. Now, this doesn't mean that having material things makes our experience together difficult. What this means again is those who depend on things rather than on this interactivity that we're going to be demonstrating. We're going to let go of our dependency on things so that we might have more things. Except the more things we have, there'll be less of the sense of ownership. We will not be possessed by things. To be possessed by things is to have the fear of loss of things. And we lose all fear of loss. A person who is a true millionaire in spirit, in his consciousness, can lose a fortune and will almost instantly begin the process of regaining another. It is as though nothing happened to him. This has happened many times. He does not have the consciousness of things. He has the consciousness of how to demonstrate a particular kind of experience. And that's what we're going to prove in our lives. You see, it's the mind that believes in personal possessions and finds its good in the ownership of things that limits the full idea or the full expression of this power. Now, I've been talking about substance, emphasizing it throughout this lecture this evening. And I've been doing it because it's so very, very important that we grasp this idea of substance and hold on to it in a new light. We're going to come back to this plastic mind substance and be working with it. So we must be aware of it and think of it in a new way. If we've been trying to get our good from some other source, and we all have, then we've been going about it in the wrong way. And in that process, have only been wasting time and energy unnecessarily. But let me emphasize one more time. The very air around you is alive with dynamic forces that await your grasp of them and await you to bring them into action. They're the same forces that have created and sustained everything that you can see in the visible universe. And all of that power and energy and intelligence is waiting for your recognition of it. And this mind substance is that energy and intelligence. But it needs permission through recognition, through praise, through thinking and feeling, through your reborn excitement about the possibilities that exist for you, through the awakening of the idea that your life is a fantastic unfolding demonstration of the highest good that is known to God. Are you willing to begin to think this new, exciting way about yourself for the next 7 days? And if you are, this substance will begin to come alive to you. You see, God, who is all, is perfect substance, the source of a mighty stream of power and intelligence, and you are a tributary of that stream, a channel of expression. Now, recognizing the substance increases the flow of that substance. Blessing the substance increases the flow of that substance. For example, if your money is low in your purse, bless it. Tonight, when we do what we always do when the meeting is over, put a little extra in and bless it. You say, I can't afford to do that. Can't afford not to do it. To bless it. To become aware of this spiritual substance that is going to take this little and increase it manyfold because you believe it, because you're excited about it, because it is an experiment that you're making. And you're going to be observing and anticipating the result of that experiment that you're making with your mind. We're going to become conscious of the fact that there's a living, loving, responding substance that is all around you, aware of you, waiting for your recognition of it, waiting for you to become conscious of it, waiting for you to begin to work with it and to believe in it and to trust it, forgetting about yourself or forgetting about things. Seek ye first the kingdom of the substance, and things will be added. Have you heard that before? You bet. Now, what was the idea that I was going to give you? This mighty idea that was going to change your destiny. That idea is this. And hear it in the personal tense. Let your mind hear it in this way. I am prosperity. I am prosperity. I am prosperity. Yes, I am. I'm not going to have prosperity. In the universe, there is no future tense. It does not know going to be. Going to be never happens. Going to be cannot come to pass. I am prosperity. Yes, I am. And repeat these words to yourself 100 times tonight before you retire, and 100 times in the morning when you awake. Take this idea and say it to yourself until you begin to believe it, and then say it until you really start to believe it, and then say it until you almost believe it. And take it out of the head and put it right down here where you feel. Let this become the basic thought pattern, an integral part of your mind in these next 7 days. Prosperity, one single idea, not money, prosperity. You are a prospering point of spirit located in time and space. You are prosperity. I am prosperity. And think of the power of this one idea. Why is this idea so important? Why is it so necessary as the basis of our first class? Because this is the idea that we're breathing into mind substance. I am prosperity. It takes that idea and rejoices in that idea, and will begin to expand that idea and produce the reaction of that idea in your life. This is the seed idea that is being planted in the spiritual soil that we call the mind of God. And this is what's going to shape this plastic mind substance that is even now becoming your prosperity. I am prosperity. I am. Are you ready for an assignment the next 7 days? Until our next class. I want you to work deliberately and with persistence on this one idea. I am prosperity. To think it and to feel it, and I want you to think of nothing else and feel nothing else consciously for 7 days. Work with it. Pray about it. Meditate upon it. Consider it. Ponder it. And when something else begins to creep in, then push it out and think about this idea. I want you to watch your attitudes, your thoughts, and your feelings, and especially your conversations during these next 7 days. And the moment that you catch yourself speaking a word that is not a prospering word, bite your tongue. And say, I am prosperity. I am. Breathe it down into the subconscious, into the feeling nature, so that it becomes the new and unfolding, exciting idea of your beingness. And if you'll do it, you'll create a new habit atmosphere, a whole new attitude toward life. Close your eyes now. Relax. In the silence of your being, take this idea. I am prosperity. I am going to repeat this idea until I believe it. I'm going to repeat this idea and feel it. I'm going to take this idea down deep underground into the soil of my being until it becomes a perfectly integrated part of the creative mind that sustains and supports me. I am prosperity. I am rich in the substance of life. I am amazed at how beautifully prosperous I am. And all the blessings that the Father has in store for me are mine. Now, thank you, Father. And so it is. Amen.
This concludes the lesson on tape number 1. Now proceed to tape number 2 for the continuation of Prosperity Principles That Work.